Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits and all of that mess. Because we deserve it, right? Because we deserve good vibes, okay? But we got some things we got to talk about. This is a conversation and a story that we've talked about for we've been covering for the past couple years. And there is new revealing information, bombshell information that I think we all knew, let's be real, but it has finally come out and we have got to talk about it because I'm curious. I have so many questions about what's up with this. Okay. Like, what's up? Especially when we've already known all the BS, y'all. Like, we knew all of this. It was just under the guise, under the awning of speculation. But now we're starting to hear finally some confirmations on the speculations that we had, all the theories that we had. It is pretty insane. And so we have got to talk about this. Okay. So we're going to be hopping into this and having this conversation, and it's definitely needed. Now, I know some of you guys might not know this whole story. I'll be touching on it very, very briefly because it's a very, very detailed and long story, okay? But nonetheless, this is a conversation that we need to have. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below. That'd really mean a lot, okay? Crush that like button. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you crush that crush that reaction button down below. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. You know, we're working hard out here in these streets. Do not forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you crush that follow button on my Facebook page as well. All right. It'd be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family on both platforms. Okay. Let's get into this conversation, shall we? Now, the thing is this is something that broke yesterday. I didn't get a chance to really cover it yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit of a recuperation day for me. I'm still feeling beat up, still tired from this weekend because it was a very long and epic weekend for me. But I heard about this yesterday and I was like, you know what? We are going to talk about this. I want to do it in the morning when we can have a real conversation as a family about all this, because this information to me really grinds my gears, really burns my cookies, as I like to say, because it confirms a lot of the theories and a lot of the speculations, conspiracies, etc., that have been revolving around the case of Gabby Petito. Now, if you don't remember Gabby Petito, long story short, she went on this cross-country trip, kind of like a van lifer with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. They were out traveling, enjoying life. She was starting to upload videos online about their van life experience, all on the social medias. And then one day, this man, Brian Laundrie, comes back home with the van without Gabby, as I like to say, sans Gabby. And of course, people started to ask questions on, where is Gabby? So, of course, it turned into a missing persons case. The world, we were all at the edge of our seats. We were all wanting to know, where was she? What happened to her? And did Brian have anything to do with the passing of, or have anything to do with her missing? Flash forward many moments later, many huge key moments that went down. Of course, she was found gone, and he was the prime suspect. All of us were speculating. All of us were looking at him saying, yeah, he done did this. There's no way he did not do this. Even there was speculation of another monster out there in the area, and the possibility of him crossing paths with Gabby alone and all that. There was absolutely an amazing, a overwhelming amount of speculation and theories that were revolving around this particular case. Now, the whole world, as he went running, because he ran out into these wilderness streets, out into the swamps in Florida, a lot of people were sitting there looking at the parents, Brian Laundrie's parents, because none of it was mathing. I'm telling you, zero was mathing. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail here in a little bit. Everything from the note to how the car got out there to there's just so many questions here. But now we have new information. And the only reason why we have this information is because of the civil lawsuit that the Petito Schmidt family has against the Laundries. That's the only reason why we are finding out and hearing these pieces of information. But during this civil lawsuit, this information dropped yesterday, and it's pretty wild to me. And like I said, it angers me. It makes me really, 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 really mad. Okay? Because these mother lovers should be locked up. I don't care. Now, I know I'm most definitely am speaking from passion. I am speaking from emotions. Okay? I do get emotional. Okay? I get my Carl Thomas on when I see this stuff. Okay? Because they should be locked up for what they had a part in this whole thing. They have not admitted to anything else, by the way, guys. Again, this is just my own speculation, my own theories. This is just what I feel in my heart of hearts. I do really 110% feel that they helped him run. That is just my opinion and my opinion alone. I have no evidence on that. It's not like I have some smoking gun video of them creeping out, driving him out into the swamps and telling him to kick rocks. Nah. This is just my theory alone because of all the things that went down. And we're going to talk about a lot of it as we get into this conversation. Like I said, this story really grinds my gears, really burns my cookies, because the people that helped helped a monster run are still out here living their life. Sure, they're going to be broke as hell after this civil lawsuit, but they're just as guilty as Brian. And I also wonder about the daughter too, but I'm going to talk about that in a second. Like I said, I get ahead of myself, okay? But we're going to get into this. So let's talk about this. And like I said, for those of y'all, let me say that again, for those of y'all who are still kind of new to the story, new to the party, let me just say this. Go check out all of the videos that I've covered covering this case. I have a whole playlist of the Gabby Petito case. Please go check it out. Every single time there's been a big moment or a big movement in revolving around this case, I have covered it. Please go check them out, all of them. There's so much, and this thing is so thick. I couldn't sit here and tell you the whole breakdown in less than 5 minutes, okay? So please go check those things out. So let's go into this article, all right? So it says Gabby Petito lawsuit, Brian Laundrie's parents finally admit what their son told them, attorney says. So the attorney for Gabby Petito's family says Brian Laundrie's parents have admitted what their son told them in the days after taking the life of his 22-year-old fiancé in August 2021. So during depositions for the upcoming civil trial between the two families, Chris and Roberta, as I like to call her, Laundrie, said in a frantic phone call on August 29th, 2021, 2 days after the day Petito was believed to be unalived. We got to use these code words. Brian informed them that Gabby was quote unquote gone and needed a lawyer, according to Petito attorney Pat Reilly. Reilly says Chris and Roberta did not admit to knowing Gabby was unalived, only that they were told by Brian that she was quote unquote gone. Now, let me before we continue with this article, okay? I'm just going to ask you guys, hypothetically, you're home, you're chilling, your son is on a cross-country trip across the country. You're already worried about them being safe because it is your flesh and blood. It is your pride and joy. You want to make sure that they get to point A to point B, all the way down to Z in one piece. Then suddenly out of nowhere, you get a phone call and it's your son saying that his fiancé is gone and that he needs a lawyer. Let me just ask you guys this. What do you think that means? Go ahead and put it in the comment section. Don't worry, I will wait. Put it in the comment section, okay? Let me know what you think. You get a phone call. You're already worried about them because, you're, of course, loving, doting parents. You want to make sure that they get there wherever they need to and back home in one piece. Suddenly you get a phone call from your son. Your son says his fiancé is gone and he needs a lawyer. What do you think that means? Blammo. Sorry. I mean, here's the thing. And for a fact, excuse me. And for a fact, let's keep it 100, okay? For a fact, he did not say gone. And if he did, you didn't ask any more questions. You just said, "Oh, she gone? Okay, I'll get you that lawyer. We got Bertolino. We got Baloney Bertolino. We got you." No, you're going to start asking questions because you're going to sit there and go, "Gone? What do you?" Even if he did use code words like that. "Oh, yeah. Gabby gone. So what do you mean, honey? Yo, Bri, what you mean by she gone? Can you explain that? Because now you said that you need a lawyer. Why do you need a lawyer? Did you put your hands on her? Did something happen to her? What you mean by gone? Where is she? Is she at another motel? Did she leave with another guy?" You're just going to start asking questions, right? Aren't you? I mean, last I checked, I would. I'd be asking all kinds of questions because I'm just an inquisitive mother lover. But I'm also thinking that this is my son and I want to make sure he's okay. And I'm thinking of the worst scenarios, nightmare scenarios, as he's out there on his trip, praying to God that he and his fiancé are going to be okay on that trip. And then that one fateful day, you get a phone call that you never thought you'd ever get. And he says, you're thinking, "Oh my God, what's going on?" He says, "She gone." What the hell does that mean? I'm telling you right now, I'd be like, "Young man, you better tell me exactly what's going on. Because now you're telling me you need a lawyer. Now I'm nervous." Right? So I don't think that they're telling us the full truth. They're telling us some of it. It's almost like they're just dipping their toe in the pool of truth. Yes, thank you. Shakespeare classes, I'm a living poet. But they didn't dive all the way in to the pool of truth. Does that make sense? So that is crazy to me. For a fact that they knew what was going on. It wasn't just gone. He said something else. And I know maybe I'm just talking crazy. Maybe I'm talking with passion because I've been covering this story for a very long time. And I have, an emotional attachment to this particular case. But at the same time, your son gives you a call and says, "She gone, I need a lawyer." The hell do you think that means to you? You're not going to just be, "Well, that just means she's gone." No, that means something's up. Period. Moving on. According to the court documents and the depositions, Chris and Roberta then informed their longtime lawyer, I like to call him Baloney Bernalino, but Stephen Bertolino. Okay, they informed their lawyer that Gabby was gone, quote unquote gone. Come on now. And that Brian was in need of an attorney. A retainer was sent to him 6 days later. I'm sorry. We all can do the equation, and the math ain't mathing to me. This math is funky. I want to know what Brian told Bertolino. Reilly told WFLA, the article I'm reading here. He probably admitted more. And did Bertolino know where Gabby's body was located? That's another thing I'd like to know too. Because again, you got to remember, this young man, okay, called his parents and said those two things, at least. Like I said, they just gave us like an amoosh boosh, okay? They gave us a little tiny little appetizer, okay? To what really went down, to the actual full truth. And I'm telling you right now, they know the full truth. They know the full truth. And then they told the lawyer. And we've been known that the lawyer knows. You feel me? We've been known the lawyer knew exactly where her body was buried. Figuratively and metaphorically speaking. He knows all the truth. And yet he couldn't, I guess because of attorney-client privileges, couldn't talk or say anything. But at the same time, he knew these things. Just like the parents knew exactly where she was at. And they knew that he had his hand at taking her life. Man, there's so much to dissect here, guys. So much to dissect. Let's continue, though. Reilly says he believes the Laundries and possibly Bertolino were told more. He has filed a motion to force Bertolino into revealing what Brian told him. A hearing on the motion and whether Brian's attorney-client privilege should be upheld is scheduled for December 20th in Sarasota County Circuit Court. Now, so the attorney representing the attorney representing the Laundries in the Petito civil suit has not responded to requests for comment. Of course, Bernalino declined to comment. Here's some other pieces of information. According to court documents, the Petito family alleges that in the aftermath of her unaliving, Brian used Gabby's phone to send text messages to her family in an attempt to deceive them. Among the messages sent, Brian is believed to have sent a text message to Gabby's mother, Nicole Schmidt, about Gabby's grandfather, and referred to him as Stan. Schmidt has stated Gabby has never called her grandfather by his first name and that the text was highly suspicious. Schmidt and Joe Petito, Gabby's father, have sued the Laundries for intentional infliction of emotional distress, claiming they were aware Gabby was gone or unalive, but chose to do nothing other than release a statement expressing hope Gabby would be found. Now, the trial is scheduled for May of 2024, but at the same time, let's be real. Now, this is just this article, okay? To me, this is a bombshell revelation because this also starts a domino effect. It's kind of like the Diddy case. I know. I haven't talked about it in a while, like in a couple days, and we're taking a little bit of a break from the Diddy stuff, okay? Until there's something bigger, until there's a bigger revelation, okay, on the Diddy stuff. But it's kind of like the Diddy stuff. And hear me out. When we first heard about the Cassie lawsuit, we read that 35-page, scathing, mind-blowing lawsuit. All those documents revealed a lot about Diddy and what he did to Cassie. But it wasn't only just Cassie. It was other people as well. So as soon as we read that, it was like opening Pandora's box. It was like hitting the first domino. Other ones just started to knock out or start to get knocked down. Or you're going back to things that you saw in the early 2000s, the old videos, old interviews, and you're going, wait a second. Oh my God, he been all these allegations, all these people been talking about these things, right? You start to go backwards. You start to do the reverse math and go, wow, this has been going on for a very, very long time. So now when we look at this Gabby Petito situation, or not Gabby Petito, I'm sorry, when we look at this Brian Laundrie situation and Roberta and Chris Laundrie, and we hear about them finally admitting that they've been known about her being gone, you start doing the reverse math and you go, oh my gosh. So could the letters be absolute BS? Could the letter that she sent to her son, for example, of course she sat there going, oh no, I need to break my silence. What it really meant is just a mother doting on her own son. I just love my son, Brian, and I was showing him love. But she's sitting there going, I will bury bodies. I'll put a file in a cake for you. I will do all these things. And the other thing is burn after reading. Like I said, reverse math. Let's not forget, we can go all the way back. We go back, all the way back. Okay? Remember when he goes and he gets up and he just drives off? And then he's suddenly off in the swamps somewhere random? Remember that? Remember there was a moment when they thought it was Brian Laundrie in the car, but it was actually his mama? Remember the other time when they said, oh yeah, we don't know where he went for 2 days. Yet he was being looked at and talked to by 5-0, but suddenly his Mustang is found out in a swamp that he loves to go walk around in? The fuck? Does anybody remember any of this stuff? Like I said, go all the way back. Okay. So when not even just the letter, the burn after reading letter, the journal entries that he had in his book, the confessional letter that explains, what actually happened, where what he did and how he left her and all that, all those pieces of information. Think about it for a second, guys. Think about it. Now, I'm not trying to be like wearing the tinfoil hat and going crazy. All I'm saying is when you have information that is being dropped like this and they're finally going, here's the truth. That's fine. This is the truth, man. He did call us and he did say this, man. They're willing to lie and cover that up. What else are they willing to cover up as well for their little baby Bri? Think about that for a second. Sorry, not sorry. This is the bed that they made. If there was truth and transparency in the very beginning of this situation, this whole case, this would not be happening right now. That's number one. Number two, people would not be going back and speculating even more now, because now they look even more like they're in guilt. Remember, let me just say this again. Like, ooh. It's all coming back to me now. Okay. Celine Dion. It's all coming back. Remember this? They went to a camp. They went to a camping thing. I forgot the name of the spot, but they drove like an hour and a half. I'm dusting off the cobwebs on that part, but they drove up. They were spending time with his sister and his niece and his his other relatives, niece and nephews or whatever, before he ends up kicking rocks. Remember when we were all sitting there wondering, were they plotting up there? Were they having a powwow to talk about what his next move is and all that? I know I sound crazy, but at the same time, you know for a fact, as soon as they did this, as soon as they admit to him actually going, yeah, she's gone, I need a lawyer on the phone, that totally shows more red flags popping up and making us realize that there's a fine, very, very solid possibility of them working on ways to cover things up for him so that he could run. Fort DeSoto, thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Think about it. Damn. This is insane. Absolutely insane to me. Okay? Yes. Their last goodbye, Jeff Buckley. Okay? Yes. All right? Think about that for a second. Think about it. And that's absolutely insane in the membrane to me. Whitney said, thank you so much for, thank you. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Thank you. I appreciate it. You don't sound crazy. They know more and should be in contempt until they tell the whole truth. You know, I agree. I agree. So that's why I'm looking at this and going, wait a second. They can't catch no charges. They ain't catching no charges. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, y'all. It's like I said, it's very this is very aggravating to me because there's things that there's theories and speculation that has been out here for a minute. And now we're looking at this and going, wow. And some people had their theories a long time ago, and they were made to look like they were absolutely bonkers. And now when we have this coming out, think about the journal entries. Think about the letter, Burn After Reading. His own confessional letter that just miraculously showed up. Let's not forget the other part. This is the part that really just grinds my gears even more. Okay. Remember when they went out and they spent hundreds of, if not millions of dollars on manpower trying to search for this mother lover, looking for Bri. They couldn't find him at all. Then all of a sudden, Chris and Roberta go, yep, yeah, you know what? We're going to help you out. We'll come out into the wilderness randomly, and we'll just go and search in this one random spot all throughout of all swamps in the world. We're going to help you out. No problem. We're going to go. Yeah, you need help? Yeah, we're going to help you out. That's fine. 17 minutes later, they find his remains with his book bag and all his stuff there. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy. Think about that for a second. Come on, man. Weeks. Do you understand? Weeks. They were looking for him. And then all of a sudden, yep. Ding dong. Yep. Mr. Laundrie, we need some help. And maybe you can help us go, look in this area, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's some things you can see there. Maybe you can find it. Yeah, well, if you need some help out there in that swamp, there is a spot that he likes going to. Really, sir? Oh, yeah, yep. Roberta, come on, we're getting in the Ford. And they drive out there, and within an hour, they find his ish. And none of us are looking at that and going, that's kind of weird. I mean, come on. Come on, guys. Yeah, we gonna go out there, Come on, Roberta. Okay, honey. And they go out there. Minutes later, they find his ish. Come on, man. They most definitely had everything to do with this ish. Come on. And why they are not locked up? These mother lovers better be locked up soon. There's got to be something criminal here. Right? See, this is one I wish I had like Jennifer Coffindaffer or any of our lawyer friends on to talk about that part, because I'm like, why are they not catching not one charge not one charges. They should have multiple charges, real talk, but they're not catching not one. Make that make sense, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to get heated, but that's why I said this really burns my cookies, because they helped someone get away with M. Real talk. I'll say they helped somebody get away with murder, and that's messed up. And then that guy got to go and get deleted off the planet instead of actually suffering and actually dealing and coming to terms with the consequences of his own actions. Because I know a lot of people are like, yeah, that monster gone. Me, I'm like, nah, man, he should have been in prison, looking over his shoulder every day, even more than him worried about dropping the doggone soap. I'm just being real. To me, that's justice. Let him suffer. He's gone now. He ain't suffering. So for me, I'm like, dang, man, you let him get away with it. That's BS to me. They should be more than just financial. They should be getting some criminal charges. But that's just my opinion. Okay? But everybody, including law enforcement, should be reverse mathing the F out of this thing right now. On God, they should be reverse mathing this thing and asking him even more questions, getting down to the nitty gritty and getting these mother lovers something more than just a financial slap on the wrist. They need more. They definitely need more. Like I said, burns my cookies. Hold on real quick. I got a super chat I want to grab, or a super sticker. Thank you, Kimberly Japan. Thank you for the 500 yen. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And real quick, guys, I do have something I want to share with you guys. We're still talking about this, so don't go anywhere. We still got a lot to talk about, okay? We talking as a family, but I do have something I want to share with you guys. Take a look.
Have yourself a merry Christmas. Let your heart be mine. From now on, troubles will be out of sight.
Yes. So, if you don't know, I know some of you guys were asking for me to put out a Christmas song. And so I do have a Christmas song. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Go check it out. You can stream it, download it, do whatever. You can use it on TikTok. You can use it on your YouTube Shorts, Instagram, you name it. You can use it all on those platforms. Please go download it, stream it, whatever. It is available right now. It's under The Pascal Show. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. It's very simple, okay? Artist name is The Pascal Show, and the song is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Go check it out. That'll be greatly appreciated, okay? I know you guys were asking for some music from me, so there it is. Now you've been warned. Anyway, moving back into the conversation, okay? And I appreciate the support, guys, because without you guys, I wouldn't have had that up. But that's on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, all the major music, spots, okay, platforms. So go check it out when you can. Okay, so moving back into this, I do have a couple things I want to share with you guys, as far as videos, news clips, and all that. Okay, so let me play some stuff for you guys right quick.
Some startling new details emerge from the already shocking Gabby Petito murder case.
Tripping
the
for some weird
parents of
reason.
Brian Laundrie have offered information about a phone call with their son
that
was made about 2 days after the alleged strangulation. 8 on Your Side investigator Walt Buteau is here with that story.
Jen, Brian Laundrie admitted killing Petito in a suicide note, but there's been scrutiny focused on his parents about what they knew and when they knew it.
I was trying to get him to stop telling me something.
Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie were seen alive but upset on Moab, Utah police body camera video during this August 12th, 2021 stop for a domestic violence check. Just over a month later, the 22-year-old's body was found in Wyoming. Chris and Roberta Laundrie said they talked to Brian after Petito was reported missing, but we've heard virtually nothing about what was discussed.
We have a statement.
Until now, Pat Reilly, the Petito's attorney in their civil lawsuit against the Laundries, has revealed new information. According to Reilly, during a deposition for the civil case, the Laundries described what was said to be a frantic phone call with Brian a couple of days after Petito was allegedly murdered by strangulation. During that August 29th, 2021 phone call, the Laundries said Brian told them Gabby was, quote, gone, and that he needed a lawyer. Reilly says the Laundries did not admit knowing Petito was murdered, only that their son said she was gone.
Doing some morning yoga.
But Reilly...
So, again, for him to call them and say, this is what happened, and she's gone, to me is absolute trash. I'm just saying it. It to me, it says there's a lot more going on here than what they have been letting everybody else know. And I do feel, and this again is just my own opinion, I do feel that the rest of the family knew about this as well. I'm even saying the sister. I know a lot of people like, leave the sister alone. She probably didn't know anything, blah, blah, blah. She still went up to that campgrounds or that DeSoto. I'm forgetting the name now again. I know somebody just said it earlier, but the DeSoto spot. Okay, I don't know where it is, but even when they went up there, they knew something was up. They knew something was going down. Okay, they knew what was popping off, and they had, I'm sure, a powwow or a last goodbye, as Raven said earlier, with him, because they knew he was going to run. They knew, or the plan was that he was going to run, or that he was going to run somewhere and do the unthinkable to himself. Remember that. Because again, why would they have all this? Why would they do this big family outing thing while his fiancé is still missing out here in these streets at that time? Her remains were not found at that time or anything. I would be stuck in my home eating nothing but DoorDash and speaking with 5-0, doing everything I could in my own power to help find my fiance if my fiance was missing. In fact, I wouldn't even be in that home. I'd be exactly where I last saw her. Shoot, living off the street, for crying out loud, if I couldn't afford a hotel room, and I would sit in that area until I found her. I wouldn't be up here doing camp stuff, campfires with my family. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. It's just insane to me. Okay. Ryan, thank you so much for being a member for the past 11 months. I really appreciate that. Yes, 11 months, almost a whole year. Dag nab. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for the support. Yes. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Again, available on iTunes right now. Okay. But yes, again, it just doesn't make any sense. Let me actually make this poll, because I know a lot of you guys are looking at this poll or this conversation. I saw somebody put in a poll being like, press the number 1, and I appreciate you doing that. But that gave me the idea, so I'm going to steal it from you. Okay. Gosh. What the? Jeez, come on. When you try to type quickly. Okay. I said, do you think the Laundrie should be charged criminally? That's all I said. Okay. So please go check that out. It's pinned to the top of the poll because I know a lot of you guys are going to hit. We're hitting the thing. Okay. But Jason, exactly. You're the one who was like, press the number one. But yeah, I think there is something criminal. I do think so. I do think so as well. Okay. I agree. I think there's something criminal. They did something illegal here. Isn't there aiding and abetting, something of that sort? You also got to remember, if there was any evidence of said crime and they did something with it at all, if they destroyed evidence, they got rid of evidence, whatever, isn't that criminal as well? Couldn't they catch a charge for those things as well? Again, there's this, and of course, the problem of that part is showing proof of said thing, right? They have to show proof of evidence being destroyed and them having their hand at that. That's a hard part. But aiding and abetting, come on now. Maybe tampering, Emily. Yeah, you're right. It could be that too. But at the same time, they need to show proof of actual tampering of evidence. That's the thing. But like I said, there's something here. There's got to be, and they're still being protected, or the laws protect them. I don't know. Something about this is not mathing to me. But let me play a little bit more of this.
He tells us that conversation is a direct conflict to the Laundrie statement during the search for Petito several days after the phone call, that they hoped she would be reunited with her family.
They started suspecting around the 12th, I think it was, or started to have concerns when they finally reported her as a missing person. So is she alive or isn't she alive? Those are certainly thoughts in their head, but they have hope. And when this statement is made, it just elevates their hope.
The Petitos are suing the Laundries and their attorney, Stephen Bertolino, for alleged intentional infliction of emotional distress, claiming they knew Gabby was dead, but still offered hope to her family. Bertolino declined an offer to comment about the deposition. The Laundrie's attorney has not responded yet to a request for comment.
Like I said, to me, something about this just does not. It's just still not sitting well with me. One thing that does give me a little bit of ease is knowing that we're not crazy, knowing that we're not crazy about the theories that were revolving around Brian and his parents. We are now starting to get more confirmation of this. From this, we're getting more confirmation about certain things. Only thing is that now the snowball effect has happened, or the domino effect has happened, because now people are going to go retrace or go backwards and start looking at all the actions in which they did during that time. When they weren't talking to people, when they weren't talking to the press, they were not transparent. They just, and I'm not sitting here saying that they have that they have to go to the press and talk, but there's a lot that went on during that time that if they just had a little bit of transparency, or if they didn't just let him go, then he'd be in a jail cell right now. He'd be facing justice right now. Gabby Petito's family would be getting justice. She, most importantly, would be getting justice right now. But we don't have that. We just have written letters that, let's be real, we don't even know what is true and what's not. Some of those things could be fabricated. You know for a fact that they knew that this kid was going to go out into that wilderness, out in that swamp, and do something to himself. They knew that. They knew that was the plan. They knew that that's what was going to happen. He probably was like, "Ma, I ain't going to prison, Ma. I will never survive in prison, Ma." And so they devised a plan. They devised a plan. Let's keep it a buck. They devised a plan. And he said his last goodbyes to his family. He told them what he was going to do. They knew all about it. He mysteriously disappears when the cops come knocking down his door just in the nick of time. They pull up. They're like, we need Brian Laundrie. And they're like, but he's been gone for 2 days. We don't know where he's been. Come on, guys. Come on. We ain't dumb, okay? Sorry. What was that? What's that phrase? Like you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining or something like that, right? Ain't that a phrase? Or am I just making that up? I think that's a phrase. But moving on. Thank you so much for the super chat. S Dubs, what's up? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 5. Something and buffoon. If they have video of the van, Gabby may never have been found. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. Absolutely. They thank God for the van lifers that were vlogging during that time. Because if they didn't have that and they didn't scrub through that video and go, wait, oh my gosh, there's the van right there, then yeah, it would have been much longer for them to find her, you know? And she was already gone. She was already out there too long. I know, Nicole B. I know that was awkward, but that's a phrase. That's a saying. Yeah. See, Lily said, yeah, it is a phrase. Thank you. I'm not crazy. Okay. Yeah. Can't pee on me, pee on my leg. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Parf or PRF. Yeah. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Dag nabbit. Oh, it's from Judge Judy. I didn't know that. Well, I learned that very quickly now. Okay. Can't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. There it is. Now I feel more confident. Okay. Whoops. Wrong one. Thank you so much. Welcome to the family, ex-sailor. Or actually, thank you so much for being a member. I think you just refreshed your thing, but thank you so much for being a member. I appreciate it. But like ex-sailor, if you want to support the channel, by all means, you can hit that join button down below. You can also support me on my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. You can go over there and support over there. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to support in other ways, you can do that over there too. Okay. I cover a lot of different things on this channel. I do a lot of stuff on this channel. So please go over there. That'd be greatly appreciated. Vintage Mama, thank you so much for being a member for the past 8 months. I appreciate it. In my opinion, they should have been charged from the jump. I agree. I absolutely agree. And I keep wondering why it was so easy for them, or why they didn't. You know, why they didn't get a charge, why they were able to finesse their way through this ish the entire time. Because it's kind of like, it seemed as if the cops were looking at them going, ooh, we want to bring you in, but we can't do nothing. And that doesn't make any sense to me, y'all. That part doesn't make sense to me. Think about it for a second. You got somebody, you know for a fact that they had their hand in something. And then suddenly they're going, we can't get you. Dag nabbit, you're just right there at my fingertips, but I can't get you. And then the other smoking gun, in my personal opinion, is the part where they're knocking on their door, asking for their help. They go over to the swamp, and then minutes later, they find him, his remains in his book bag and all that. Again, make that make sense. It's just not, it just doesn't make sense. I got another video I want to share with you guys. And so Brian Entin had an interview with Gabby Petito's the Petito family's lawyer, and I wanted to share that with you too, because I'm wanting to know, can they catch any criminal charges more than just financial? Because still, no matter what, they need to see justice too. I get the financial justice. I get it. Trust me. I get that part. But there's something about this that just doesn't seem right. And it doesn't feel like it's full. It doesn't feel like full justice right now. It just doesn't. So let me play this for you guys, okay?
Joining us now to lay it all out is Pat Reilly. He is the attorney for the Petito family. Pat, we appreciate you being here. You know, I thought I knew the ins and outs of this case, But, you know, my jaw dropped when this new information came out really over the weekend involving what you allege the Laundries knew and when they knew it. Basically saying that about 2 weeks before Gabby Petito was reported missing, that Brian Laundrie had made a phone call to his parents saying that Gabby was, quote, gone and that he needed a lawyer. How were you able to discover this, Pat?
Well, good evening, Brian. Thank you for the invitation this evening. The deposition of Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie was taken back in October, as well as attorney Stephen Bertolino. And during that deposition, for the first time, Christopher Laundrie disclosed that on August 29th of 2021, he received what he called a frantic telephone call from Brian, in which Brian disclosed to him that Gabby was gone and that he needed a lawyer. So that just confirmed what we had suspected going back almost 2 years.
So I'm thinking back to that time, Pat, and there is this search happening all over the country for Gabby Petito, an enormous amount of police resources all over the place. Everybody's looking for her. And according to this new information that you're presenting, the Laundries knew that she was gone. And I know this is now a civil trial, but I think a lot of people are watching this wondering, like, how is this not criminal if they didn't come forward with that information? I mean, were they allowed to withhold that?
Well, I'm not a criminal lawyer, but I know that attorney Bertolino has certainly taken the position that they had the right to remain silent. They don't have an obligation to disclose. So I don't know whether or not there are any possible criminal charges that could be brought against them at this point, but certainly in terms of the civil litigation, this is very big information for us.
Yeah, and the Laundries, again, this all came out as part of the new filing, collected a $25,000 retainer to pay a law firm in Wyoming. Yet at the same time, they were going public through their attorney at that time, releasing statements. There was one statement that said, in part, on behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family. That was September 14th. August 29th is when you're alleging that he was told she was gone, that they needed a lawyer. So are the statements really a big part of the case here? I mean, were they intentionally trying to mislead people, do you think?
Well, the statement certainly is the focal point of this particular case. It's really the only cause of action we could bring against Christopher and Roberta Laundrie. And the import of the statements is it supports our allegation that at the time that they made the statement, hoping that Gabby would be reunited with her family, which to most people, I believe would mean that she's going to be alive and it's going to be a happy reunion. At the time they made that particular statement, they knew that she was deceased, and they had known that for about 2 weeks and kept quiet for that 2-week period, despite the pleas from the family to help find her. And they chose to speak up and make that particular statement with knowledge that she was already deceased.
Real quick, one thing I want to say, just to piggyback off what he said, that's aiding and abetting, ain't it? They put out a statement when they already knew that she was gone. They put out a statement giving off the vibe that she was still alive and out there 2 weeks before her body was actually found. So they said all this stuff. Oh yeah, you know, we hope that she's found. So that everybody else has this false sense of hope that she could still be out there. Even law enforcement gives them an idea of, oh, okay, she's not gone. She could still be out there. So they continue looking instead of actually looking at her, at him and the family. Gives him 2 weeks to figure out whatever he needs to figure out. Get his ducks in a row, say his final goodbyes to his friends and family and relatives, mainly his family. Because I don't think his friends would sit there and go, yeah, bro, okay, you did that? Cool. Good luck on your trip. Nah. People start talking. But they gave them enough time to plot. And for those 2 weeks, from the moment he made that phone call to his parents, saying that she was gone, to the moment when the cops are knocking on his door, on his family's front door, and they said, oh my gosh, he's been gone for two days. We don't know where he is. That whole entire time, they were plotting. Not only just lying to the Petito family, the Petito Schmidt family, but they were also lying to the rest of the world. Law enforcement, everything, so that they can get him to do one of the biggest magic tricks in the history of magic tricks. He disappeared, and no one knew where he was. If that ain't criminal, then I don't know what is. And why they haven't caught anything, except for civil, it's still it still just blows my mind. But now that the information's out here, here's the other thing I want to point out too. It's a wrap for the Laundries. They're going to have to go and live in a completely different part of the world and change their doggone names. They're going to be looked at as pariahs out here in these streets. No one's going to be looking at them with respect. I wouldn't be surprised if they've lost their jobs, if they have, whatever they both are, if they're dual earning family or if it's a single earning household, doesn't matter. No matter what, they're going to have a hard time. So maybe they're not getting thrown into court and being, charged criminally, but by the court of public opinion, they're guilty. They're guilty as hell. And I know the public is not going to let them forget what they did and what hand they played in this whole case. Let's not forget that. Let me let this lawyer continue talking.
Are you surprised, Pat, that Chris and Roberta Laundrie were so forthcoming with this information? Because couldn't they have said, look, attorney-client privilege, we don't have to tell you what was going on behind the scenes in terms of us talking with lawyers and that kind of thing?
Well, it was an attorney-client privilege for what Brian told them. There's no privilege there. What they may have told Attorney Bertolino could have been privileged, but they waived the attorney-client privilege in terms of their relationship with Attorney Bertolino.
So how do things play out? I mean, I know there's a trial date set, the civil trial for next year. Is there any chance of a settlement? I would imagine, the Laundries don't want more information like this coming out. Would you consider a settlement?
We would consider a settlement, but it would have to be under the right terms, and no one has proposed proper terms or right terms for the family at this particular point in time. But a settlement is always a possibility.
Interesting.
A settlement, if they do the settlement, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what they decide to do, I would never throw any type of shade at them for that. I don't blame them if they just want to kind of, if they go for the settlement. But at the same time, I hope that they just keep wringing out the Laundries for as long as they can, so that they can still get as much information out of them while they still have them under this microscope like they do right now. They have them at a stranglehold right now. They need to keep squeezing. That's what I think. I hope that I get it if they decide to do that, if that's the choice in the alley that they decide to go down, by all means. Hey, I'm not throwing any shade on that. Come on, this is probably just destroying them, having to relive all of this all over again, but at the same time, I just hope, I really, really hope that they squeeze this out as much as they can. They get as much justice as they can right now. Now, really quick, before we continue, just for you guys, that you guys know, if you're having a hard time seeing the poll, and if you're watching, and the poll is only on YouTube, please go and just refresh your page really quick, and you'll be able to see the poll. But right now we got 255 votes. Okay. By the way, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Hit that like button down below. Hit it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right. Hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. All right. Please and thank you. But I'm trying to grab this one other video real quick, because this this is kind of where it all kind of broke. The story broke from JB, and I wanted to share that with you guys as well because, yeah, this is the one that I saw. Okay. So I wanted to share this with you guys.
A significant update in the Gabby Petito case, as the lawyer representing Petito's family says Brian Laundrie's parents have revealed what they were told by Brian Laundrie in the aftermath of Petito's death back in August of 2021. You can find this all in my full report. Click on the link in the description of this video. It's on WFLA.com. During depositions and, of course, in court documents that WFLA.com has obtained, Brian Laundrie is said to have made a frantic phone call to his parents 2 days after Petito is believed to have been murdered, of course, on their cross-country road trip back in the summer of 2021. Brian informing his parents that Gabby was, quote-unquote, gone and that he needed a lawyer. Now, this is, again, according to the depositions per Pat Reilly, the attorney for Gabby Petito's parents, and then, of course, court documents obtained through Sarasota County Circuit Court. Reilly says that Chris and Roberta did not admit to knowing that Gabby was killed, only that she was, quote unquote, gone.
And I call BS. And I call absolute BS. But I want to share this with you guys. Remember this BS here? This other BS? The little confessional thing that was written. Now I will say this. Okay, this little confessional BS trash crap that was going on. All right, let's talk about that really quick. I do feel that this could very well have been written by Brian Laundrie, but this wasn't during the time of this. I feel like this was when he had time to run. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are thinking that maybe Roberta was the one to pen this letter. It could be. But then again, it could be him too. But the only reason why I think it could be him more than anything is because he had time. He had a 2-day head start before 5-0 knocked on the family's door and said, we need Brian Laundrie right now. Before they were able to place him under arrest, bring him in for questioning and all that stuff. He had already been on the run for 2 whole days. So there's a good possibility that he sat down and while he's out there, he had time to write this. But the other stuff, I think a lot of it, and even this still has the Laundrie family written all over it. You know, their involvement is written all over this. And I guess the question, that I throw out to you guys is, what would you do? What would you do for a Klondike bar? No, what would you do if your own flesh and blood called you and said, I did a thing and I need a lawyer, or my fiancé is gone and I need a lawyer, which we already know what that means. Would you help in their escape, or would you try everything you can to make them face the music? What would you do? That's a question I'd love to ask you guys. In fact, we are going to talk about it because I'm going to be opening up the phone lines. All right. 314-766-4581. We're going to be doing a little bit of a quick and easy speak on it segment. Do me a favor. All right. Do me a favor. Keep it short. Keep it sweet. Keep it respectful. If you aren't respectful, I'm cutting that ass out. And don't be mad if I cut you off. All right. But real quick, before we go into that, maybe you guys are looking for something like this. Looking for a gift that lasts forever? Rose Forever designs luxurious rose boxes with natural roses that will last for over a year. They have a wide range of choices in rose colors, box shapes, and material, so you can customize your boxes how you'd like it. Go to roseforever.com and use the promo code Pascal20 to get $20 off your first purchase. Your first Rose Forever New York. Rose Forever New York. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw that, but check out roseforever.com. Really, really great flowers, customized boxes with flowers, roses. They're customizable, etc. They last for a year, so it's not like you just buy them and then 3 days later they just gone and wilting away. They last for a full-on year. They're really, really amazing. Check them out. Trust me, you'll thank me later, especially if you're trying to find something really, really nice for your loved ones. Okay, and for the fellas, if you're in the doghouse, go to Rose Forever and check it out. And use my promo code Pascal20. You get $20 off your first purchase. Pascal20 at roseforever.com. Go check that out, okay? But somebody was trying to call in during that. The phone lines are on, so please go and call in. All right, 314-766-4581. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, keep it clean, keep it classy, keep it respectful. All right. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Lexa, and I'm calling from the Fort Myers, Florida area, just south of Sarasota.
Right on, right on. Hey, everybody, please do me a favor. Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this conversation, okay? Lexa, right? Lexa?
Yes.
Lexa, what's on your mind? Speak on it.
I think that it's ridiculous that people online are saying that he is still alive.
Yeah.
That Brian Laundrie is still alive.
He gone, guys.
Because you can be ambidextrous. My dad is left-handed, but he shoots with his right. That happens. I think that the Petitos absolutely need to take the Laundries to court, and I think they need to win. And I think with all my heart that the Laundries need to be in jail for their part in knowing that Gabby was gone and doing nothing about it.
Let me ask you this then too. What would you do if your loved one, your son or daughter, called you and said, "Hey, my fiance is gone. I need a lawyer." Would you help them in their escape, or would you make them face the music, turn them in yourself?
This is something that I've thought about a lot. I'm the mother of 5.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And some of my children are adults. I'm the kind of mom that I would turn them in.
You'd turn them in?
I would get them a lawyer. I would call a lawyer and call the police in the same breath.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, well, clearly you do the right thing. But also it's like before he gets turned in, you go and you find out before they get turned in, you find out what the options are before they're actually getting turned in. Maybe there's a deal that they can get, maybe they can get a deal. Maybe they can, you know what I mean? You try to find everything you can, because no matter what, they are going to see the inside of a jail cell. They are going to be living in prison. But if there's a way to lessen their punishment in some sort of way, then maybe, I'd try that. But yeah, I'd be like, no, son, you are going to jail.
Yeah.
That's just what it is,
because, you do everything you can as a parent to teach your children right from wrong. And when they do something wrong, as a parent, you do what you can to help them to fix that. And if that means they need to go to jail and face their consequences, that's the consequence they have to face. That is good parenting. That's the kind of parenting I've practiced my whole life.
Yeah.
My daughter, when she was much younger, stole something one time, and I called a deputy to come to the house.
That's what's up.
You have to do what is right over coddling a child that has done something, especially when they've done something egregious. Murder is egregious.
Yeah. And and also let's not forget, this is a grown ass man. Okay. This is he had a fiance. This is not like some kid or some teenage kid. This is a grown man, fiancé'd up. Okay. He's booed up, committing a crime. He knows the difference between good and evil. He knows the difference between life or death. come on, you know, it's like, no, you grown.
Exactly.
I can't do you no favors, bro. Like,
No,
that's
because
it.
at that age, they absolutely know right from wrong, and you know right from wrong too. Just because you love your child does not mean you have to protect them from consequences.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I firmly believe that loving your child means that you teach them to face consequences, and that's something that they simply didn't do.
Damn right. Damn right. Well, Alexa, thank you so much for calling in. All right.
Thanks, Pascal. Love your show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you're on the mic. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carrie from Middletown, Ohio.
Carrie from Middletown, Ohio. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
I'm going a little deep today.
Okay. We don't mind.
They ended that real quick with he had unalived himself.
Didn't they?
There was a lot of people out there, a lot of mad people out there looking for that boy.
Yeah.
I've wondered.
Listen, it does not make sense. It just doesn't make sense. He had plenty of time to get out there. Like, you know, with the 2 weeks that they, you know, with the 2 weeks within them making that statement going, oh, we hope they find Gabby peace in one, you know, alive and safe and blah, blah, blah. They had 2 weeks to plot. Then he disappeared, and it was 48 hours until the cops went and were knocking on his door. That was like the last that the Laundries say that they saw. That's the last that they saw of Brian. He may have left earlier than that. I don't know. Okay. But
I almost knew just, I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
mean
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you.
Go ahead, please.
Just as a parent, I almost knew just by the look on their faces that it was bad. And I had said to my husband, I bet that boy's going to go off and do the deed. That's exactly what they say happened. But either way, yeah, this is a mess that they're left to deal with now.
Yep. It's the bed that they made for sure.
It's terrible. There's nothing I can think any worse than what those parents have had to go through. Gabby's.
Yeah.
You know, it's just terrible. But hey, I thank you. You're doing a great thing, Pascal. And thank you for taking my question.
Anytime. I appreciate you calling. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah. You know, the whole thing, everything that has to do with how he left, how they found him, and all that, very suspicious, period. Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Amy from New Jersey. Hi.
Hi.
You know, no one's talking about this thing. I'd like to see what happens with Cassie, because if Cassie, her sister, was at the send-off picnic, whatever you want to call it, she must have known something. And I don't know why, if she was questioned by police. I don't know after the fact if she has some sort of criminal involvement by not coming forward or saying anything. But I do think they both belong in jail. I just think that, and also they should, I hope Brian Enton gets somebody on, or you get somebody on from Florida that's a criminal lawyer, and ask them all of these questions, because Reilly said he's not a criminal lawyer and he wasn't going to answer that because that's not his specialty area. So I think it's a shame. Like, I have a daughter. I would want them to, you know, I have a 15-year-old. I'm like, she doesn't date anybody, you know. She's not like that. She's just a studious child. But like, if she dated somebody and this happened, and if she was in this position, I would really want them in jail at this point. I think that they lied, that they have some sort of, you know, like accessory of some sort. They're like accessories to the murder. It's like, if you're gonna drive the getaway car in a bank robbery and you let them escape, you're going to get charged just as much as the person that went in and held up the whole bank and stole all the money. So
you're not wrong.
So I look at it in that respect. So I don't know. I just think it's terrible because I don't have a son that I would, but if my daughter did something bad, I would think that she would need to be held responsible and accountable. And the parents have some criminal, involvement in this, in my opinion. So
yeah,
I would be curious as to what a criminal lawyer would say.
Yeah, you know what? I am very interested in that too. And I'm gonna see what I can do and see what I can make happen here. But the other part though, with Cassie, the thing with that is, I don't think, and I want to clarify a few things, I guess, or one thing. I don't think that she was involved. I think she had knowledge of what's going on or what was about to go down. I personally do not think that she knew, but at the same time, though, that's still a huge piece of information that I think it's really tragic to think that she could have possibly known some things, and maybe she didn't know the plan, but I do feel that she knew something. Now, does that make her accessory after the fact? I don't, or not accessory. I'm just saying aiding and abetting. I don't know. I would leave that up to a lawyer or to a cop.
Yes, this is why it's good to get in my opinion, to get someone on to ask these questions and see what they say. Especially someone from Florida, like that would be more knowledgeable of those specific state laws and stuff. Have a good day now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the call.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of great calls. Lot of great calls. But yeah, as far as the Cassie thing goes, I just think that she knew something. I don't know if she knew the whole doggone plan, but I think she knew that when she was up there with her kids and she was with Brian, that was going to be the last time she was ever going to see him in the flesh. That's what I think, in person. That's just my theory. Now, it could absolutely could be wrong. I'm not asking for any of y'all to go and bother her or nothing. All I know is that there was a powwow of some sort before he disappeared. Why would you go camping when your fiance has gone missing and the whole world, it's an international obsession. It is an international focus on trying to find out what happened to Gabby. And you're out here camping? It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. I need to go camping? I don't know where my fiance is. Oh my gosh, I need to go camping? Like I said, it just does not math. It just ain't mathing for me. Okay? I think it's really sad, the whole turn of events. But this is, again, there is a family that was doing everything that they could to help this man out. And he did something. He admits to doing that. And yet they did everything they could to cover his tracks. Even gave him a head start so he could be out there in those streets, in those swamp streets, for as long as he could, to do whatever he was going to end up doing, what he inevitably did in the long run at the end of it all. It's trash. Again, I don't think justice was served. That's just my personal opinion. Yes, I know he admits it, and he's no longer here and all that. And for some of us, or for some of you guys feel that is justice served, but I don't think it was. He found a way out, and he got that way out. And he got that way out by the help of his family. It's just not right. Now, should they be catching some criminal charges? I asked you guys that. And in the poll, 352 votes, man, by a landslide, 96%, actually, 97% of y'all said, hell yeah, they should be catching criminal charges. And I agree. They should be. And the fact that they have not caught any criminal charge is absolutely surprising to me. I will say that. I'm shocked that they didn't catch not one criminal charge. And I'm wondering why. Was Bertolino that good of a lawyer? Was he able to finesse around this that easy? Do they know somebody in law enforcement? What is it that they need? What does law enforcement need so that they can actually charge them with criminal, so that they can catch criminal charges? What is it that they need so that they can face the music for having their hand in getting their son out of here in the way that they did? I guess allegedly. But the fact that you got a phone call that was made and he admits to her being gone and that he needs a lawyer, it doesn't take 2 seconds for you to realize that he did a very, very bad thing that was criminal, in which he needed a lawyer for it. And when you hear someone is gone, clearly that means that person is no longer on this planet. Their soul has left their body and it's never coming back. They knew what was going on. They still put out a BS statement that gave Brian more time. Instead of them just going, hey, instead of no statement at all, going to 5-0 and saying, we know the truth. Brian's right here. He wants to turn himself in. He did this, this, and this. He knows where she is. They could have nipped all this stuff in the bud. Millions of dollars in manpower, etc., that was wasted. All this could have been remedied if they just became adults, became parents, and did the right thing by parenting their son. Rather than, oh, we don't want you to see prison either. No, you wouldn't survive in prison. Let's try to find every way we can to get you out of the situation as quickly as possible. When he took a life, y'all, let me just remind you guys really quick. He took a life. This was not a stranger. This was his fiancé, Gabby Petito. He took that life. He admitted of taking said life, to his parents. And these parents, who in my personal opinion should not even have a license to parent after hearing all this stuff, decided to take a different route. Instead of taking the high road, taking the righteous path, they could have talked to their son, have him admit to wrongdoing, turn himself in, have Gabby Petito's body be found in a faster way, rather than it being out there rotting, decaying, and being eaten and messed with by wildlife out there and temperatures, etc. But they didn't do that. They decided, oh, we're going to try everything we can to get him out as quickly as possible. And they finessed not only 5-0, but the entire world. That's what they did. And they're continuing to try to finesse us by saying, oh, yeah, we got a phone call and he said she was gone. Didn't say that he unalived her. Didn't say that she was gone, like that she was unalive. He just called us and said that she was gone and that he needs a lawyer. Semantics. They're trying to finesse everybody again. But one thing we can take away from that is that, one, they are liars. Two, they've done everything they could to cover his tracks. And three, if you start doing all the reverse math, all that stuff is coming back with them looking guilty as hell. Wrong soundbite. But anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. But real talk, how dare they? And I guess, we're all mostly in agreement majority of a certain agreement that they should be catching some criminal charges. And I don't know if they ever will. But I will say this, court of public opinion has spoken. People feel some type of way, and they have a lot to say about it. And I don't think anybody's going to let them live a normal, calm life. It's not going to be normal for them anymore. All right? It's not. It really isn't. And I'm here for it. Man, ain't that something? And I will say this too. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Petito Schmidt family. You know, they deserve as much healing, as much time to heal, and as much love as they can get, because they are still dealing with this, and they're going to be dealing with this situation for the rest of their lives. But at the same time, the fact that it's just slowly seeping out instead of getting all this information 2 years ago, you know, it's like they have to relive this BS again. Such trash. Such trash. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here again. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. All right. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Crush that follow button on my Facebook page. Also, my Christmas song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, is out, available right now on iTunes, Spotify, all major streaming and downloadable platforms. You can go download it, stream it, listen to it. It's short, it's sweet, and hopefully it fills you with nothing but holiday cheer. So go and check that out. All right. I'd really appreciate it. Okay. And it's under The Pascal Show. Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Okay. Artist name, The Pascal Show. Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Okay. But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Okay. We got more stories to tell, so I'll be back on very soon. Okay. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Have a great rest of your day, guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.